The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Nick Fantasy. Use their new game mode ladders, which will let you win up to 500 times your money. And a reminder, you could also use the promo code MLB HPN to get a $1,000 bonus credit. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN to get a $25 matching deposit bonus. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Monday morning, May 5th, around 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We are back for the prop show. Did skip the last prop episode because Adam was out of town being cool because he has friends. So either way, point is he was not available. But we're back for a new week here to talk about.
We actually skipped because we won so well on the Wednesday, that we had to.
Yeah, we could use that
get out of town.
We could use that as an excuse too. How was your trip?
It was good. Went to Detroit.
Yeah, nice. Heard it's very
nice.
It
was pretty sad when the Knicks beat the Pistons. Everybody was like, nobody went out. It was crazy.
There was no pizza. Sad time.
I had a lot of pizza. Detroit's a great town. It's like Chicago, but not nearly as congested. There's not nearly as many people.
No, that was the Little Caesars Arena joke. Pizza. There was no pizza. It was all just pain over there. But I see Tom asking about my hangover. I don't have one. I don't believe in it. Hangovers are for the weak. No, I took about 7 shots yesterday at an engagement party, then did 2 podcasts right after it. I feel fine. So no complaints at all. Hanging in there.
Was it AJ Brown's engagement party?
No, it was not. It was a friend of mine from basically my childhood who ended up getting engaged. So I ended up going with my mom, which was very fun. So I ended up doing a shot with my mom. She requested the smallest amount possible of alcohol. So I basically did a double to compensate for the alcohol that she didn't want to drink. So there you go. But either way, point is, was a pretty fun day. Overall, pretty interesting weekend for baseball. And of course, we got some props to talk about for the card today. I'll ask you, though, before we officially get started, anything you want to talk about? I haven't seen you in a while.
It's like 4 days, but we still.
That's a long time for us.
Yeah, it's no, everything's good. I got some stuff for us. I'm also gonna give out a couple futures because I'm to start using this show to give out futures for people, and you can figure out since you're the host and I'm the co-host.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me when that's a doable time. But I think we should just get into stuff. I was just looking at how awesome we did in that Wednesday show because. I was 1-2 on regular plays, but we hit the underdog play. Tobias Myers was elite. I also seem to be having to bet the same pitchers every single show. I've noticed that. Like our show is always on Rodon Day.
Yeah, well, it does feel like at the end of the day when you are going to be looking at certain maybe pitchers or batters just getting mispriced numbers in your opinion or your overall projections, it does seem like we sometimes might be targeting the same people. I know we're going to mention somebody in a little bit who I'm pretty sure you've targeted before, but whatever works. I know I'm mentioning somebody that I've targeted the last couple episodes, and it's worked out. But overall, once again, looking forward to breaking down 3 props each. Then we'll get into the actual best bets at the end of the show and the underdog entry. I believe I went 2-1 last episode. I'm pretty sure because I think it was Adolis who I ended up taking the under runs, and I also had the Judge single. So I'm pretty sure I went 2-1. In the last episode. But either way, point is time to move on to the games here and the props for the Monday card. But a reminder, first of all, that if you do want to help SGPN, you could get all the free picks and the podcast on the convenient app. Download the SGPN app in the App Store today. Once again, so instead of trying to find it all on YouTube, just check out the app. A lot easier to do it that way. Anyway, moving on to the props for the Monday card. Adam, I'll let you go first. What's your first prop for today's card?
So Cole Reagans is back from being hurt, and believe it or not, and he's got the Chicago White Sox. And guess what I'm doing? I'm taking an under on his Ks, not an over. Under 6.5 on the Ks for shout out Drumheller. Drumheller's awesome. On Cole Reagans plus 124. He's under 2 or 3 of his starts at home. Chicago White Sox have been pretty good contact hitting team the last 10 games.
Oh, look now. They won a series over the weekend.
Dude, so yesterday you were like, I think I want Houston over team total. I'm like, but what if we did both teams to 3 runs? Because you got Lance doing his first start, and I don't remember who we had yesterday. It wasn't Shane. Who was it?
No, it was
Bryce Miller.
It was Will.
Bryce Wilson,
no,
who everyone wanted to fade.
But yeah.
Well, he was fine. You had 4 strikeouts. Every
I
Twitter
mean,
capper who took his under Ks was wrong. I loved it.
fine to stretch. I think he gave up like 8 hits and they were all singles, which I thought was pretty fun. And I gave up the 1 home run. I think he gave up 9 hits in like 3 2/3, but it was fun.
He did exactly what he needed to do. When they called the game, they were up and they both scored 3 runs, so we won. That's all I about. But anyway, last 30 plate appearances for Chicago against left-handed pitchers. The chase rates are really good, which is what I look for in Ks. Reagan's ground ball and fly ball rates are way worse at home. So give me Cole Reagan's under 6.5 Ks at plus 124. I do. There's other plays with him that I would probably like for this, but the under Ks is the one that I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of scripts there. Reagan's was
also off being injured.
Yeah, he was pitching very well to start the season. Then he had a couple bad starts, had a groin issue, and then he skipped 1 turn in the rotation. So it is going to be his first time pitching, and I think over a week. So we'll see how Reagan's looks in this one. A couple ways to get there. Either he doesn't look like his old self again, and you end up seeing him maybe lack some distance in his first start back, or maybe pitches well, and the White Sox just aren't as bad as the market thinks offensively, and they don't strike out enough. So a couple ways to get there, or he gets shelled, which is option C. So I don't mind that. I think it's a good price too. So yeah, I definitely like that play as well. Moving on to my first prop, I'm going to go back to what's become basically my rinse and repeat play, and I saw plus 152, so I'm going to take it again. Give me Aaron Judge over half a single at plus 152. I've taken it twice on the show. I got plus 105 last episode. I cashed it in both episodes that I've done it, and yeah, this price is still insane to me. Judge is basically the only hitter worth a damn right now in the Yankees lineup, and he's had at least 1 single in 14 of his last 19 games. He's batting north of 400. He's been an absolute monster this season, and you're looking at his singles, once again, being a pretty solid percentage recently over the last couple of weeks. He's also been good against Pivetta in his career. A career 278 batting average. He's seen Pivetta a decent amount, because Pivetta, of course, used to pitch for the Red Sox. But I see a decent spot for Judge, mainly based on the price. At the end of the day, you might end up getting a close game. We'll see how San Diego pitches Judge, but the man just keeps hitting singles, and it's plus 152, which I think is just a wild price. 14 of the last 19 games, and it's plus 152. I'll take that. Give me Aaron Judge over half a single at plus 152. Thoughts?
I mean, that is, as you said, that's a wild price. I don't know. I'm just looking at Judge data to see if there's something that, his last 5, everything's red, which is great. Red is good. So I don't know. Not walking. Like that's all. It's just sort of it's the problem always with Judge is if he hits it too far.
Yes, that actually did happen in the last pick that I had with him. I took his single against the Orioles in the first inning at a home run. And I'm like, well, this might be interesting. Then he immediately singled in like his next.
You did single. Someone else took our play. That was when we gave out an underdog entry that someone changed. And that's good. So
I'll go with Judge once. I just think plus 152 is an insane price for a hit rate like that for a guy that's been just dominating. So there you go. That's kind of my thoughts there for the Judge play. I'll ask you, though, for your second prop on the Monday card. What do you like?
AJ Smith Scheuer.
Okay.
Scheuer.
Shawver, whatever.
Shawver, under 4.5 Ks.
Okay.
Dustin Johnson, fresh off the Live Tours here. It only says D Johnson, so that's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
Under 4.5 Ks plus 122. Reds have been really good at not striking out. They don't chase. The guys who are literally only their last 30, 60 plate appearances have been doing that have been Matt McClain and Spencer Steer. And believe it or not, but this Reds team that plays in a, barn, they've been way better. They've been just way better hitting on the road. So I'm going to take this. I'm not a big fan of AJ. He just doesn't go distance either. I get it. He kind of, has already had like a couple of these outings, but under on his Ks. I think that there's going to get some bullpen early. He's obviously over in his last 3, but if you kind of go back to his like home starts, he hasn't been that good against Miami. Rookie still. So under 4.5 Ks. I'm taking all these lame unders, guys, but they're plus money. So we'll see how these things work.
Yeah, I'm also not the biggest fan personally. I think that he's okay at best, so he might struggle early. We'll see what happens. But you mentioned the Reds. The strikeout rate is not as high as you might think. So
no, I mean, so basically, so I have a site which people are welcome to always go to. It is free, Handigraphs. It's free for now, handigraphs.com. But I'm going to just go through it. Over the last 30 plate appearances, the guys on Cincinnati, chase rate is what I care about for strikes. There are 2 guys who have chase rates that I would classify in bad or poor, and that's Spencer Steer and Matt McLean. Everybody else is absolutely like crushing the ball, or like they're hitting the ball on the ground. And then when I go to AJ on his home stuff, let's see, Smith short. Yeah, he walks a lot. His ground ball rate's bad at home. His FIP is bad. His last 3 weeks, like he has his strikeout stuff is good, but his fly ball and ground ball rates are bad on a team that just loves to hit the ball out. So let's go with it, guys.
Yep, sounds good to me. I see Quinn mentioning Happy Cinco de Mayo. Unfortunately, I did drink the tequila on Star Wars Day, so the timing didn't really work out, but I got a premature celebration for Cinco de Mayo. You have a nice Star Wars Day, by the way? You watch any of the movies?
I replayed a video for Clout of my band and I playing Star Wars on stage and me dressed as Han Solo. That's
fun.
That was fun. But I look, I have a Star Wars tattoo, so I'm into this stuff. It's good.
It's a tramp stamp, isn't it?
What's that?
It's a tramp stamp, isn't it?
It is. It's right here. It's the Rebel Alliance symbol. We're getting asked thoughts on Cole Reagan's over 7.5 Ks. I actually like his under 7 Ks. Because
first start
you're
back.
Catching the White Sox while they're hitting. This is one of the comments. So
I'm saying it's also the first start back. So
first start back. May the 5th. What was the one from Arrested Development? Quattro de Cinco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
That sounds
Shout out to Arrested Development. There's always one in the banana stand. Anyway, before we get into the other props for the Monday card, a reminder that we brought to you by our sponsor, ADVERTISE. First ever bank account for bettors. You can also ensure that all your gaming transactions are approved. They have no usage fees, no imbalance. You can also cash for rewards, 100% approval from deposits. You can also sign up at ADVERTISE.bet with the promo code SGPN, plus $25 and ADVERTISE match to deposit. ADVERTISE.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie. Whose bookie?
Whose bookie? My bookie.
I remember today. My bookie, though, is the prop to bet in every sport. They have the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. If you want to look at UFC, you want to look at MLB, they have all that for you. They also have props. If you want to go for some MLB props, they have that for you on my bookie. But a reminder, you can also use it for total locations. You can also use crypto for deposits, lightning fast payouts. So when you sign up for your new account with my bookie, use the promo code SGPN for your 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first couple props for the Monday card. Time to move on into the next prop, which is my second prop for the show. For this one, I'm going to go with another plus money play. I'm going to go with the fade, actually, of a batter. I'm going to go with Miles Mastrobuoni. I'm going to go with his under half a hit at plus 130. Maybe he doesn't play. If not, that's fine. It voids. We'll just live. But plus 130 is a good price, in my opinion. He's had no hits in 8 of his last 10. He's had no hits in 9 of his last 11 road games. And I do think that Severino has been pretty underrated so far this season. He did struggle a bit against the Rangers, but he survived. He was in danger of getting shelled, and then he had a bases-loaded jam, a 3-0 count to Berger, and he got out of it. And then Berger got demoted. So there you go. But either way, point is Severino's been pitching pretty well this season. Mastrobuoni might not end up playing. So once again, that could be a situation where maybe you bet that on BetMGM and you get the winnings if he pinch hits. But I do think with that hit rate, once again, at plus 130 with a pretty good starting pitcher on the mound, I think that's definitely worth taking. Give me Mastrobuoni under half a hit at plus 130.
Back in my day, we didn't call it Mastrobuoni. We called it Punch in the Clown. But just so you know, I
hope you wash your hands. So there you
go. That's. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if he plays. So I agree. That's my first inclination when you sent me that was I don't know if he's going to play.
He might not play, but plus 130 is plus 130.
I get it, dude. I get it.
So I'll take that.
Yep.
But there you go. Anything else you want to add? Because I know that you have one play you're dying to share with the public.
I'm dying to. I'm just trying to see another one. As I was looking, I was like, why is Miles Mikola's? Why is his
Mikola? It's because they had a doubleheader yesterday. So he's gonna.
I get it, but they didn't waste everybody. Like his outs is way too high.
No, it's also his pitch count. You figured Mikola's with the amount of pitches that he throws. You figured he's probably throwing 90 pitches a game. Nope, he's not throwing 90 pitches a game. He's throwing in the high 70s, low 80s.
So, but I'm just trying to convince myself if as a third play, if I want to as a fourth bonus play. Well, I'm giving people tons of bonus stuff. Should I tell people now what futures I want us to take?
You can if you want to.
All right, guys. So I got two. So there I got 2 AL MVP future bets that are at obscene numbers, and they are based completely off the cap of Aaron Judge needs to die for either of these two things to happen. Aaron Judge is winning MVP as long as he is breathing. I'm sorry if you are not a Yankees fan or if you're not an Aaron Judge fan, if you liked him better when he had dinosaur teeth. I know I did, but he got those things fixed and he mashes the ball. He is rightfully the favorite. But if you want to have a really good lotto ticket, I got two for you. One, Alex Bregman at 90-1 for MVP is an obscene number for if Judge gets hurt and the Red Sox win the division, that guy's probably carrying him there because he's been hitting like crazy. So 90-1 is an absolute bonkers number. So do that. The other one is Corey Seager at 120-1 for MVP. They just cleaned house on all their hitting staff yesterday. If you really want to buy low on a guy who got to, I think, 12-1 for MVP preseason, does always get hurt, may have already had his injury for the season. 120-1 is another good one. These are two lottos in the AL. Back to regularly scheduled props, unless you have a comment.
Once again,
you hate Corey Seager, but you love
no. See, I didn't like Seager at the price preseason.
No, 120-1. You're like,
then he got hurt. Now it's 120-1. Now we're talking. So that's kind of what I'm saying. So
these are very, very long numbers. Look, Aaron Judge needs to die for this to happen. The sacrifice must be made, but that happens. That race gets wide open, and there's narratives for both of those guys.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. I know that you mentioned Mikolas briefly. I see Trevor saying that the Pirates' numbers against Mikolas are fantastic. Mikolas has also been pretty good last two outings, which has been kind of surprising.
He has. I can't tell how I want to play that, so I'm just gonna that's not gonna be a show play for me.
I talked about it on the other show when I did the preview for the Monday games. The pitch that I had was potentially Mikolas win, but that involves backing Mikolas, which is never fun.
Just at plus 160. It's kind of weird because this Pirates team, like I'm looking at their last 30 plate appearances against righties, and just like here's the problem is that only a third of the lineup is getting the ball in play.
Yeah.
Which would lend itself more towards an over outs. Yeah, I actually would probably end up doing.
So I mentioned the win because in theory you can probably get there.
I don't hate the win.
I don't hate the win. You're still alive.
Actually, but the problem is I like Carmen too. Like I think he's been pitching pretty well. I'll probably take the Mikolas win. To be honest,
just for pricing, I was just trying to think.
It's pricing. It's a good value on a guy that we know has to go 5. So not a show play, but we will be taking that. Show play though is I put it in right at the buzzer. Are we up to me or is it you?
No, it's you.
Okay. Bryce Miller under 15.5 outs. So Bryce Miller has been traditionally he's been like not so great at he's been not so great on the road. But the thing is that he hasn't really had as great of a year as we thought he was going to have. He's been striking guys out, but his ground ball and fly ball rates and his walk rates are really, really bad. And you can't have a high fly ball rate when you're playing in a minor league ballpark like they are for the Athletics. So 15.5 is the number here. He hasn't gone over this since the first week. A month ago. He went over it against San Francisco. Otherwise, he's been below it. Everybody's available for Seattle in the bullpen. The A's are hitting consistently pretty well. So the fly ball rate's really what gets me on this one. Like, I just get him to go 5, not have a big deal out of this, and get out of there. So give me Bryce Miller under 15.5 outs at plus 104.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. I like the price on that. Moving on to my last prop. I'm going to go with the hitter prop. Bit of a juicy play, but I'm still going to go with it based on hit rate and based on the matchup. I'm going to go Teoscar. I want to back the Dodgers in some capacity. Thought about Sandy over earned runs at 2.5 at minus.
I like that. That was a final cut for me. Actually, I bet it. I shouldn't lie. I bet it.
I probably will end up betting that too. But I took Teoscar. I took his over 1.5 HRR at minus 135. He's had at least 2 HRR in 7 of the last 8 games. Had at least 2 HRR in 6 of his last 8 games against the Marlins. Fun fact: he scored a run in 7 of the last 9 games against Miami. He's I believe he's batting .333 lifetime against Sandy with 3 doubles and 3 RBIs. He killed Alcantara about a week and a half ago. He's batting in the top of the order. I think he's around 4th usually. He's been just a monster so far this season, and we know that he's got, of course, home run power, but I wanted to fade Sandy in some capacity. Remember when he was good? Those were the days. Good times.
He's also off a major injury.
No, I know that.
Yeah, but I guess, like, for me, I don't like the 135 for something that you basically just capped while you said it, that it's the run, it's not the RBI that he would get. The run is plus 125. I would rather take his run knowing that Sandy might avoid him and get him on base. Like we both agree he gets on base and someone else can screw them on this. I just don't like, I think HRRs are actually potentially one of the worst bets in baseball. But I support the play. I just think that there's a alt way to play it. In my opinion, I would do the plus 125 for the run, or I would take the plus 125 for the run because he actually hasn't been hitting the last 3 days. He had a terrible series against Atlanta. But I would do that. That's what I would do.
Yeah, once again, it might just be because of the fact that you can pivot off it to runs if you want to. But I do think that the lineup right now is just hitting, and I do like the fact that Sandy's been so bad. You could argue the entire lineup is a good matchup today. That's how bad Sandy's been the entire season. So I think Teoscar gets on base a couple times, and I do think that he might end up scoring. But maybe I just like the variety. I like the different possibilities of Teoscar getting there, whether he's an immediate contributor to the offensive explosion today or whether he's kind of a bystander. But that could be enough for this one. So,
yeah, my whole thing is just so you pay the premium to have both sides covered. To me, it's always, if you look deeper, there's going to be one that you're going to really like more than the other. Sandy's also, by the way, for what it's worth, been a little bit better at home. I think, look, at the end of the day, I think the best play on all this is probably Sandy over earned runs because like he just gave up 7 to them a week ago. So, but I'd rather the run. I also think Tommy Edman not being in the lineup anymore is matters.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if I was going to play the Teoscar,
would they call up again? Kim called up Kim.
Who's awesome? Who's gonna who was like? So actually, Kim stolen base has to be in our UD.
Somebody's got to steal. I mean, I wonder.
He's got it though. Like Captain Sano's pointing it out too. But Kim was stealing bags in AAA. That we want that as either as a straight bet or we want it in our UD play.
Yeah, it's one thing I mentioned before, whether it was on the prop show, whether it was on the regular MLB show, that the Marlins have a ton of pitchers who just give up stolen bases like it's free candy, basically. Like they just hand out a bunch of stolen bases. I saw, for example, Cabrera, who ended up pitching against the A's. A's were dead last in stolen bases, and they stole 3 against Cabrera. So like they have a couple of pitchers who don't even bother trying to hold runners, and Sandy's one of them too. So there you go. That's worth something. But either way, I'll take Teoscar, have a solid game on Monday. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for all 6 of our player props. Now it's time to move on to the best bet segment and the underdog entry.
Insane, I just found that price. Plus 194 for the stolen base. It's a terrible price. That's 9th. Is that really the price? Oof.
Do you want to potentially pivot off that? Because I imagine
I'll do it for our UDN. I think it's a great.
I was going to say Otani's probably cheaper than that. If I had to guess, Otani's like what 150.
We'll check,
probably?
But I really like Kim for it.
Okay. I mean,
I tend to like stolen bases on road teams.
Okay.
Just because you're going to get a little aggressive to manufacture runs. Also, bottom of the order guys are great for it because they're trying to manufacture runs.
I was going to say, since they're trying to manufacture, do you want to make a pivot to a switch on Kim runs?
No.
Maybe. No,
because the cap on me is that he ran a lot in A and Sandy gets up a lot.
I was kind of hoping he'd get into scoring position for like Otani when the lineup turns over, but yeah, that's
just such a bad. That's such a bad.
Yeah.
It's such a bad price, man.
I'd say it was fun. Just that price just is not appealing.
That price is not what I want. Well, I think we want it for the underdog entry, though.
Yeah, that could be the case, too. We'll talk about that in a second. But a reminder, though, that we are brought to you by Arnold Fantasy because they just launched their new game of ladders with the 500 times your entry. You could watch your favorite players climb the ladder. You'd also sign up for your new account. The promo code MLB SGPN. You know, special pick any first time was an offer up to 1K more cash on a fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm because they are the home of the picks and props, also available for the NBA playoffs and the MLB prop market, and you can dominate those with Rhythm. You can also build your own models. It's very easy to do. You also try it for free for a week by using the 7-day free trial. Adam, what do the robots like for us today?
There's a couple things that I was looking at. I was still going back and forth on this Miles, on this Mikolas one. Dodgers people now we're all down to so look, the total in this game is 9.5. So like I think at the end of the day, I just want the Sandy over earned runs.
Yeah.
Like
it's 9.5 inside a pretty pitcher-friendly environment in
Miami. Not Miami, but no. Oh, yes. Yes, it is a pitcher-friendly environment. Yeah. Kim Helms pointing out that he has a local prop builder with it at 2029. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so this is one that I like that maybe we do this. There's a Sandy play that they like that we effectively just capped. Do we want to do, and I think we should do this for the underdog. I don't think we should bet it because it's 130, but Sandy under outs.
That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, we think he's going to struggle, so that's fine.
Yeah. So like that's one.
I'm trying to remember.
Actually, there's one that they like that I really do like.
Okay.
Even though they don't strike out a lot. I like Carmen Mlindzinski. I don't know. He's the guy. He basically is the guy from Monsters.
Yeah.
Over 3.5 Ks.
Mike
it's even
Lindell.
money.
Yeah.
He's not a super K pitcher, but St. Louis has swung. He's going to be there. He's been solid. I really do dig that. I did hit that overall for him.
Well, what's the number? What's the number on that? Was that 3.5?
3.5.
Okay.
Let me see.
Right.
Oh, never mind. Let's not do that. Let's go. Let's just go with what we know. Let's not get too cute.
And the Sandy number was 15.5 or 16?
Sandy's 16.5 on this.
So once again, the robot play for us will be Alcantara lower or under on his 16.5 outs. A reminder though, when you do sign up for Rhythm, you can also use one of their amazing deals. They have 2 deals, a monthly discount and an annual discount. Monthly discount, use the promo code SGPN25 to get 25% off your monthly subscription, 50% off the annual deal with using the promo code SGPN50. It's Rhythm, RATHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Plus, a reminder, get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgambling.com/RATHMM. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through all 6 props that we have for the Monday card. Now it's time to move on into the best bets. Adam, what's your favorite bet from the card today?
Probably the Cole under case. So
okay. And what was the number? 7.5 on that?
6.5.
6.5. Okay. So there you go. That's going to be your favorite play. Mine, I'm going to go back to the well here. I love the price too much. Give me Aaron Judge over half a single at plus 152. I just think that price is great. Once again, a single in 14 of the last 19. He's batting north of 400. Guy's been, as you said, the automatic AL MVP barring injury. He's been incredible. The team around him's not hitting that well, but the singles have been there. And he also has been good against Pivetta in his career, 278 batting average, which is fine for a decent sample. But plus 152 for a guy that seems to walk into a single almost every day. And I think it's just an insane price. So I'll take that for the value play. Give me Judge. Every time I've been taking it, the line's been going up. I had like minus 110. Then I had plus 105. Now we're plus 152. So, sure, I'm 2-0 on the show.
We're moving on up.
I'll keep taking it. Moving on up like the Jeffersons. So I'll take that as my best bet for the show. That was the Jeffersons, right? The moving on up? That was Jeffersons?
They were.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Cool. You said.
So there you go.
Apartment in the sky.
Yes. Either way, though, point is it's going to wrap it up for the best bets. Now it's time for the underdog entry. Do you want to recycle what we mentioned before in the rhythm read, or do you want to move on to something else?
I definitely want to do that. I'm starting to get this weird read that there's a good Sandy game, but I don't know. I can't get there. I can't get there on speculation. So let me put this together.
Is it the ERA north of 8 that's giving you a hard time believing that he's due for a good start?
I mean, the total's 9.5, so it's really hard for me to do whatever, but it's more just the fact that like whenever I see prices that are better on Builder than are better here, I get a little bit worried. But look, one that we will definitely do. Let's do the Sandy.
Well, is the price better on Builder? I thought the Kim stolen base was the only thing better on Builder.
No, everything was.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but let's do the lower 16.5 pitching outs.
Okay, that's fine.
Since the robots liked that. Let's do.
Well, do you want that, or do you want the Kim stolen base or something?
I still want the Kim stolen base.
Oh, so we're doing a same game entry. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Let's do the Kim stolen base.
Okay.
And then let's do.
I'm wondering how long Reagan's actually going to go, because I didn't mind that play.
They didn't have anything else up for him. Like I wanted his under outs.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, because I feel like the distance.
Okay, here's a good. You want to do this? Here's a nice one. This is going to be juicy. Pitch count in the first inning over. His pitch counts get high. 19.5 pitch count over first inning. That's
such a high number.
Okay.
I mean, you need probably at least 4 batters there, and you might need a long count or two. Like that's a little bit.
Let me see. Then let me look.
I mean, he might be onto something if he's just rusty, not pitching for about a week or so. But I don't know. That feels a little bit too chancy to me.
How about? Oh, let's go to our boy Miles.
Okay.
Um,
Nicolas.
so we liked the win,
Yeah. At least I like the price on the win.
and he's going against the Pirates. Do you
Who
want to
are,
do
who are in like free fall again?
what's that?
Who are basically in like free fall, or feels that way.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
We knew they were gonna be bad, so I can't say it's out of nowhere. But it feels
let's do the under. Let's do the under 2.5 earned runs, lower than 2.5 earned runs for him.
Sure.
So we'll have Haesung Kim higher to have a stolen base.
Yeah.
Sandy under 16.5 outs or lower than 16.5
fine.
outs. A rhythm robot play.
Yeah.
And then Miles lower 2.5 earned runs.
Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna fade the Pirates offense because it's fun. Anyway, do you know what the payout is on that for the 3 pick?
It is 8. It's an 8.81 multiplier.
There you go. So once again, hopefully we cash a pretty nicely sized underdog entry here for the show. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the MLB Gambling Podcast Props Edition. We'll be back for the regular version of the show at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Tuesday games. If you want the thoughts of the Monday games, check out the episode that was recorded yesterday with Lonte and I. So something to keep in mind. Find me on Twitter at Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at Hey Rosenberg. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of